So, have any of you seen the Taylor Swift film yet? Yeah, you're just a disgrace. It is. I mean, you like her music or not, and I mean, I think she's an amazing songwriter, but that film, I just don't know how they did it, and I think it is. It's. I saw it at an IMAX with my daughter, and it was almost as loud as a concert, but you could just hear everything, and I just don't understand how they did it. I hope someone makes a film about how they did it, because it's just absolutely nuts. I'm really nervous about a live stream. Alan, what happened last week in Edinburgh College? I did a massive massive seminar, and I don't know if anyone has seen this, but we did a thing about porn, like porn music, and so I did this massive seminar where I was in front of a 4K screen, and I'm not joking. The pixels are about this big, and my wife had kindly come along to give me support. And halfway through the seminar, she said, "Christian, it was a break." She went, "Christian, you might want to take the porn folder off your desktop," and it was, and it was the porn thing that we'd done for YouTube. It was my actual porn folder, obviously. So, what's that? Just keep it on the desktop. If the police come round, anyway, sorry. I think adult advisory is a worthwhile thing. This is our first live stream, hopefully of many. I was hoping to be joined by someone, but it's flu season here up in Scotland, and as a consequence, I'm riding solo. I think something just before we get started, it's really important to say is Crow Hill isn't just going to be presented by me. We've got some amazing talent coming in as part of the team, and I can't wait to introduce you to them. It's just the way things have worked is that I've had to kind of kick the whole thing off, but there's, I mean, some really wonderful people that I'm going to introduce you to alongside the team itself. So we've got Theo, Pro, and Alan behind the camera, who have done an amazing job of setting up our first live stream. And as I know, as a touring musician, if it can go wrong, it will. So expect it to go wrong tonight. But this is about Q&As, and it's really weird speaking into a camera and expecting some questions and stuff. But okay, okay, Pro. So
we start with. I mean, just before that, tons of people are really, really happy to have you back.
Oh, that's really kind. I really know.
Good to see you. Really good to have you back, and I think that's like a really common sentiment.
No, honestly, the support for what and the thing is, we can't get what 7 minutes into a live stream. I'm not going to get emotional now, but the thing that the stuff that I've been working on over the last 15 years has not been me. It's been a whole bunch of people, and I'm really proud and delighted to say that a lot of those people have, people who weren't employed by other companies, but they've come along for this. And I don't know if I don't know if you've seen what we've done. We've basically done what you see: the string murmurations and the site and the new social activity, vaults, all of that. That's been done in 2 months by just basically the best team in the world and people that I've been working with for a long time, who understand the joy of composing, making music your music. That's the idea. I've asked Pro to do this sign when I'm waffling on, and he hasn't done that, and I'm he's now doing that. So, questions?
Let's start with a follow-up. So,
Steve Smith.
He wants to know what Nord keyboard you use in the band.
I don't know. The Nord, I think it's the Stage 2. It's got a great feel. I like it because it's got some onboard sounds, but the problem is you just can't get it to 127. So when I was demonstrating the blurs, I had to add 12 onto my what's it called, the velocity, because you just can't get up there without like a sledgehammer. And I think that's one of the real problems with I think it's one of the flaws of MIDI is velocity, and I think that can make it difficult for instruments to translate, particularly multi-dynamic ones, between, say, for example, an Akai, which has a tiny amount of travel, to this, which is enormous.
And is it just a prop, or have you got headphone out?
Oh yeah, no, it's but it's a lovely red as well. I nicked it off my wife, actually. I bought it for her for her studio, and yeah. But no, no, it's got a nice, it's beautifully built, and like it.
The chat saying, can you repeat the questions?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, will do. Thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah. Yeah, so Steve Smith was asking what model of Nord, and I think it's a stage 2. I don't use this stuff, but it's great sounding, feeling piano, but you can't get up to 127, so you have to smack it.
We've got like a weird one and a really difficult name, so I don't know what Steve's trying to do.
A weird is good. So apparently we've got a weird one.
And you sound like a Greek name, so I'm embarrassed myself and my mum to be really ashamed.
Oh, Keith. Yeah, sorry, Keith. Keith Theodosiou, I think you are. You're of Greek extraction. We have Cypriot Greek. That could cause complications. So Keith, so lovely to hear from you. What's the question?
Who got an arrow in his eye at the Battle of Hastings? And you
What?
read the question so the audience knows.
Who got the arrow in the eye at the Battle of Hastings? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to tell you something. So this is an American insult. This, for a lot of the world, isn't an insult, but for us Brits, it is. And it comes from the fact that we had these chaps who had these enormously long bows and really strong hands. And basically, I think it was the French, sorry, Theo, that we were fighting. And what they would do is if any of our long bowmen were captured, is they'd chop their fingers off. And basically, before battle, because their longbows went further, it basically meant to the French that we were fighting that they would arrive earlier, if you know what I mean. And so at the beginning of battle, the English would do this, and it was like the equivalent of doing that. There you go. Did you know that, Pro?
I didn't know.
Okay, there you go.
I'm going to pick another one, a different one. I've got a list of them. One from Beth Willen.
Beth Willem asks.
Yeah, she's interested to know, is Murmurations, is it going to be the start of a series?
Yeah.
Including like woodwinds, brass, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would like it to be, but it will be dependent on whether people embrace this new way of working, and it really is. And I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't want to aggrandize it, but it was. I remember when the iPhone came out. It's like, where's the keyboard? And it's like, well, you know, with us, it's like, does it? You know, how do you make it kind of behave itself? And the whole idea is that it doesn't, and it may not be embraced, but we'll see. I mean, the whole thing with Crow Hill is to involve a community and to fail upwards is what I would suggest, and you'll be witness to that. But your support is the thing that keeps us going.
Excellent. There's loads of interesting questions from you. Some people just want to know how our drinks are.
Yeah, we're going next. What's that?
Repeat the question.
Oh yes, sorry. How our drinks are tonight is Mexicano, cerveza, and I used to have a business partner who was Spanish, so I'm very fussy about the pronunciation of Spanish words, particularly cerveza. But yeah, no, I mean it is. There's no danger of me vomiting on camera with this stuff.
This is a really interesting one. Actually, for that, is it that mic? Can you plug it in?
That's probably more complicated than yeah. It's a visual guy versus sound guys. Sound guys just go, oh no, because that will obviously incur overtime, and basically pro wants to be heard. Why don't you come and just sit by me? Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
In the meantime, let's do one from Neil Motts.
Neil Motts.
And this is really interesting. What are the ambitions for the Crow Hill Company? Is it based in the cinematic universe?
No. Yeah. What's the ambitions for the Crow Hill Company? Is it based in the cinematic universe? No, it's not. My background is not cinema, is not orchestral, is not theory. It is drum and bass, porn funk, and I'll never not be proud of being jack of all trades, master of none. And actually, so the name of the gentleman was Neil Motts. I really appreciate the question, because I think what I'd love Crow Hill to be is an art shop. And art shops are not made for professional artists. Yes, they will visit them. But there are art shops in every high street across the globe. And it's for people who like drawing and painting and using pastels and embroidery, all of that kind of stuff. And what I absolutely hate about music is that it doesn't have that openness. And I believe making music, but not you having to learn an instrument by covering someone else's composition. I think that's one of the most joyous things people can experience. So for me, I see it as an art shop where people come in because they like drawing and painting and pasteling, and there'll be people who want to make a career. But I think that we will be totally agnostic to the people who walk through our doors. And I don't know, all of this crap may look like, you don't need it to make music and stuff, but certainly for me, it's a means of really escaping into something. And I think escaping is good in these times. So appreciate the question again.
I'm going to find out one in between. Should we do a giveaway?
Oh, giveaway. So we've got, I believe we're talking about 3 prizes today. Shall we start with up, down? What direction, Pro? Warm them up. Okay. Yeah. So the first prize is pretty rubbish. No, the first prize is we're developing some merch, and you'll get, according to your size, you'll get a bunch of merch, but also a dirty splosh, which is some calligraphy that I did recently and poured tea over. So that'll wing its way over to you.
Hold up this camera.
Sploshy. And I'm not very good at DIY, so it's been hanging off the wall with thing, but you get the whole thing. The prizes do get better than that.
Let's explain it. What's the rules? How are you going to do this?
Well, I believe that a question is going to be asked, and it's going to be the first person to answer it correctly in the chat. Yeah.
And do you want to ask the question?
Yes. There's a lot of stuff around this room that is memorabilia from my wife's incredible career as a singer-songwriter. Her name is Dot Allison, and I've just put a set list with a what's it called, a call out to her that's up on this wall. I've just put that up on Instagram. Name the band.
So the question is, name the band
in
set list.
up there. You can put it there, but I've already put it up on Instagram. Yeah, I mean it's beyond cool.
Okay, great. And then there's a Patrick E. Fagan.
Patrick E. Fagan.
Yeah, he wants to know, in the last video you said the shed was dead. Do you have plans to fix that?
Yeah, the shed is dead, and it's just... Sorry. Patrick E. Fagan asked if my shed, which is where I do most of my work, and had been doing videos. I stated that it was dead. It's dead in the sense of how I was using it. One of the problems with combining video and music is that you don't get the sorry, I'm waffling. You don't get the best out of both. So we wanted to create a space that was dedicated, which we could shoot in, that didn't interrupt my work as a. I just had an invasive thought. I was just about to say my work as a comedian, my work as a composer. But so yeah, it just needs rebuilding, because it's I can't wait to share with you the job I've been doing and the people I've been working with, who are just like future stars. It's been just beyond compare for my career. And this, what I love is that hopefully this is going to be used by many people. I know that we've got some people coming up or some students coming up from Edinburgh College soon, to try and make some sample libraries, or no, not try, but to make some sample libraries with all of this mad gear. So, and actually something that's really fun is it's not wired in yet. So we're going to share the ups and downs of that process with you as well.
We already have a winner as well. Giveaway. That's Scar Cord.
Scar Cord has won Splosh because he said, or she said, they said, Stooges. Yeah, so my wife was at a Stooges concert. I think she was supporting them, and they signed her set list. Oh, they signed their set list with a wonderful message to her. So it's very cool.
I wish I could zoom in on that. Actually, you know what? We said this was going to be rogue. In the meantime, actually, there's a really great question. Well, I'll tee that up. Which is, I think a lot of people want to know this, and it's from Gerard Gorley.
Gerard Gorley.
What does it feel like to be back, Christian?
What does it feel like to be back? Just brilliant. I started this YouTube channel about 5 years ago, and it's given me nothing but joy. And I spent, I think, about the first 15 years of my life as a composer just feeling totally alone. And I think that's just horrible. And I thought that I was the only one who was being treated badly. I was the only one who was successful. And then I started meeting a bunch of people like Drew Masters and Daniel Pemberton and Samuel Sim, and realized that actually we all have exactly the same experiences. And it's just been wonderful to extend that comfort blanket of togetherness. Really, we're not competitors. We're we work on something that, you know, we work within an art that is about the people who've gone before us. You know, we don't come out of the womb and go, okay, let's start like banging a drum and working out how to create a flute. We just it's like a relay race. So it's just it's I'm going to swear, it's fucking wonderful to be back. And it's been the thing I've missed the most, genuinely. And but also I can't wait to introduce you to the team, because they are insanely dedicated to making this work, and that is create an art shop for music, I guess, is a good way of putting it. But also, sorry, I'll just flick to Mike. Also, I think it's about an outlet to really celebrate what you're doing. And I think that can be quite frustrating. There are so many gatekeepers, and we don't want to be that. Pro's got a shiny he's got a he's got a laptop that is like, it probably cost about 7 billion quid, but it still lights up with, oh, you'd want it though, it still lights up with all different lights.
This one's an interesting one.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to it. There we go. No name, just Equalizer.
Equalizer, yeah.
Equalizer. Is there any more good stuff on the big fuck off drive that was in the book?
It's like, Yeah, okay. So the Equalizer, who I hope is Stuart Copeland, who wrote the music to the Equalizer TV series, says, "Is there any other good stuff on the big fuck off drive?" And the answer is, "Fuck yes." Okay, so the big fuck off drive is basically we're doing this thing where we want to share free sounds with each other, and I don't know. Over the last 15 years, I've realised that about 10% of composers care as much about sound, and that's not like engineering or sound quality, but care about as much about sound as they do music, and often those composers aren't from a classical background. So, well, I won't mention names, but and I'm one of those people. So I've been making sounds for 25 years, and I went down into the cellar and took out this drive, and the stuff on there is just incredible. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the film earlier, but there's stuff that I hadn't played for about 4 years, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I need to do more of this. So more to come, and it's part of this Vault series, and it's going to be several different vaults, but there's going to be a free vault. I don't know if the vaults thing is going to work, but the one thing that will always be there is the free vault, which is every month there'll be something to download and have a laugh with, which will be inspiring and different, not just here's a piano, you know, that kind of stuff.
Do you want we got some murmurations questions?
Yeah, some murmurations questions. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll just tee you up. So
yeah.
Around it, which is Joe Carisi. What do the different color blue keys represent?
Oh, jeepers! The different color blue. Sorry. So repeat the question. So murmurations. When you load different presets, you have different colored keys. The blue keys are the keys that actually have gestures on. So these will be the keys. I mean, you really have to watch the video about. Yeah. Okay. I've got to find one with the different blue keys. Yeah, I'm actually on a really old version of this, so apologies. But basically, when you load up and apologies to Cam, who has been the engineer behind this, is just so incredible. But I'm an older version. But as far as I know, the bluer keys are basically where the gestures happen. The keys that are less blue are where just straight notes happen. So sorry, I couldn't be more helpful than that.
Okay, while I'm doing that, giveaway.
Giveaway. Okay. So this is deeply personal, but it's all about moving on, and so alongside a bunch of merch, obviously can't give Splosh away again, is my green bag. Tell me where I need to. Jesus, what I don't know if is it framed well. This is a company I have huge amount of respect for. They're called Swain, otherwise known as Swain, Adney and Brigg, and I have always had my bags from them because they last for life. This bag is awesome and will last you for life. But also, what's amazing about Swain is they make Indiana Jones hat, so it does have a film reference. It's got a logo on that I designed, but I've moved on. And so I would like this bag to go to a really good owner. And it's bloody heavy, but it's the business. Alan, you have a bag, and and they basically will keep them going for life, won't they? Yeah. They're based in around Bond Street or on Bond Street, and I think it's Burlington Arcade. It smells bloody good. And they look awful when they're new, so I've warmed it up for you. So, merch, Swain bag.
And the question?
The question is, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 synths on a rack. A JX3P, a Juno 6, a Jupiter 6, a Prophet VS, an original Roland vocoder, and a Jupiter 4, which is the most valuable today.
Okay, so I'm going to get to right the answer.
Needless to say, it's I paid about 300 quid for each of them. Do you want me to write it down? It's surprising. No. Yeah. It's on the centerfold. Careful. That one's got porn on the front. Okay. I'm really scared of brilliant questions, but apparently it's a brilliant question.
You'll know what. I'm looking specifically for this one. Here we go. Lauren Finch. What was the inspiration for the UI design of string memoration? It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, Lauren. So what's the inspiration for the GUI design for murmurations? Oh, okay. So if we go into this, where's the murmuration stuff? Oh. So basically, we went through a process of mood boarding with Pro, who's sitting here. And yeah, I was getting there with Pro sitting here, but also I was burping at the time, so fair enough. And also Cam, who is possibly the greatest sample developer on the planet, and but also my wife, who has a much better aesthetic than me. And it kind of started with this. It's something that is. What I love about this is a. It's a reproduction of a black and white photograph, but the reproduction is color. And it was all about not just the knobs, but it's the way that the labels are organized. And I think that was the first thing that we looked at, was that instead of it being about the controls, it's about the labels. And I'm a bit of a handwriter in my journal and stuff. But also, I believe this was the first one. This was the kind of mock up from Cam. This was the first development, and what I loved about it, it was actually these three mixers here that really stimulated me to think about 1970s, 1980s hi-fi separates made by people like Sanyo. Oh, this was a mood board of knobs and dials that we liked. This is, I think something that I have learned through this process of being a accidental businessman over the years is about scalability. And I think that this idea here by Pro was a wonderful one, in the sense that you can customize an area of an interface, but not have to rebuild it every time. And so here are the reference points for all of the stuff that we designed. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so the other one. The Cassetro wants to know if you're ever going to do another library with Samson.
The Cassetro. Cassetro asks if I'm ever going to do a library with Samson. I don't know. We are drinking buddies and really, really good pals. And all I can say is I'd love to work with him again. It's always so much fun when he comes up to Scotland. And in many ways, the experiences I've had with him when he has come up to Scotland to create sounds with me is one of the inspirations for this playroom.
Right. Let's see what else we got. Midnight Blue Movies.
Midnight Blue Movies?
Yeah.
What encouragement can I give an old guy? I bet you're not old, who's got hundreds of tunes but hasn't gotten anywhere. I think it's a degree of bravery. I think that you'll be surprised at how approachable people are. There are gatekeepers, sure. I would only ever advise approaching other musicians and other composers. There are people who work in music library companies. There are people who work in record companies. There are people who work in film companies who see themselves as gatekeepers and kind of masters of cool. Whereas actually what I've experienced, in fact, I have met thousands of composers, and there is no exception to the rule that every single composer I've met has spoken of another composer, and that other composer has supported them and encouraged them. So find yourself one of us.
Great. I think we've got, okay, this is controversial. We've got two people, well, one person was first with a just said profit, but David McPoland actually put answers to profit.
Yes. David McPoland, you've got my stinky bag, and it's been around the world. So enjoy. Sorry, this is revolting. I may leave something special for you at the bottom. It's my lucky condom. No, it's not. Sorry.
Okay, there's Instant Noodle. Moving on. Instant Noodle wants to know: Are there plans to bring some more electronic synth libraries or more? We haven't got any. Are there plans to bring more electronic synth libraries to Pro Hill for those of us that aren't using it?
Yeah. So Instant Noodle, and the question is, are we going to introduce any more synth libraries? Or sorry, no, I do this a lot. I speak as if I've got a big company, but we've just got one library. But yeah, are we going to do synth libraries? No. But of course, yes. No, I don't mean to take the piss, but yeah, I'm not an orchestral composer. I write orchestral compositions, but I see myself as a nerdy electronics computer guy who does drum and bass and came up through writing music for porn films and all that kind of stuff. So you know, if there's anything I could imprint into Crow Hill is that of total inclusivity in the sense of in the sense of everything, and all music is valid. And I also think, you know, there's an ebb and flow, and I think that you know, I'm partly responsible for a deluge of MIDI orchestral stuff, and I'd like to investigate other avenues as well. And that's something to do with me also moving up to Scotland and working with just insane talent who play real instruments out of the box with no music. And I don't quite get it, but it's pretty wonderful.
Cool. Just to highlight, we've got 290 people watching.
Wow.
Coming in, so.
290 people watching. That's amazing. I mean, I wish one day that we can all get to a pub but no, I mean, genuinely, something it's really important to say is that the reason why the main channel went from Christian Henson music to the Crow Hill is not just a kind of branding exercise. It's because there is some really amazing people to introduce you to. I mean, like really amazing people to introduce you to, who are going to be so much part of this as well. I've got my personal channel, which you're watching at the moment. Do subscribe to it, but you know, and I'll carry on doing stuff. And if you want to see my dogs, this will be the good place to do it. But there's some really amazing stuff we've got planned.
That's a nice segue, actually. There's someone wants to know one name. It's Neil Johnson wants to know, when is the first official Crow Hill get together and walk about?
Neil Johnson. First official get together walkabout. I think it would be remiss for me not to suggest that we'll do a winter solstice walk up Crow Hill. I think that would be magic. And so you heard it here first, and we should probably put it on the site tomorrow. But that'll be a a great thing. And if there's 10 of you, or 100 of you, whatever, they've always been just wonderful. First, I don't know, they're great levelers because we're all of varying degrees of fitness. I'm really unfit at the moment. And there's something about a bunch of composers climbing to a hill and all arriving there with green faces to drink some whiskey. Alan, who's behind the camera, has been on all of them. So let's do that. So let's say winter solstice, subscribe, become a member of the Crow Hill Murder, and we'll let you know about that. But I think it's right that the first one of those is up Crow Hill. I'm planning to come to NAMM, and I think we'll do a composer walk there as well in January.
Tom's questions. There's a fun one. Southpaw Shorts. Will Crow Hill ever make hardware?
Southpaw Shorts asked, "Will Crow Hill ever make hardware?" Someone's got to do one of these. I mean, the guy who makes these is brilliant, but he's overwhelmed. Pierre, love him to pieces, but if we were, it would be stuff that's useful, not duplicating what other people have already made. And I mean, there's some amazing stuff out there at the moment. Focusrite, their new Scarlett. Alan, what was the thing that you spoke about? Oh, Arturia. Arturia has released a thing that it's like, oh, you get us. And it's got just loads of line-ins for people who have these kind of collections and not masses of mic pre's. So they're not sponsoring us or anything like that. But yeah, there's some really, really good stuff out there at the moment.
Brilliant. And then let's switch up. I just want to give Colin John Barber from Edinburgh College want to shout out.
Oh man, Colin John Barber from Edinburgh College. This is something that keep an eye out on the Crow Hill channel. We're trying something mega with Edinburgh College, and even if the aim, even if we don't succeed the aim or make a success of the aim, the fun that we're having with the students there is absolutely awesome. And again, it just goes into that thing of finding a way into music that isn't necessarily a treble clef, but might be an interesting sound, which I think is interesting to witness.
Great. And then set zero. Are you planning on releasing collaboration projects with other artists such as Snakes and Russia?
So no, the question is, are we planning on doing collaborations with other artists? Yes. Someone mentioned Snakes of Russia. He's my favorite man, and yeah, I would love to work with Snakes of Russia. But we also have I don't know.
I think the answer is, if you want to know, subscribe.
You have to subscribe, become a member, but also I think we're planning to maybe do our first. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. I think we might do our first collaboration with an artist called Dot Allison, and I would really love to know if that would be of interest to you.
Let's keep it going with the questions about ambitions. Right? Mm-hmm. This one's from Dan Ball, and it's Ball. Is there a sound or tool that you want to make or recreate but still haven't developed the technology to do it?
Is there a sound? Is it Dan Ball?
Dan Ball, yeah.
Is there a sound or a technology I haven't?
You want to recreate but haven't developed the technology
yet? Yeah, a sound or a tool that I'd want to develop but haven't been able to yet. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to get away from computers being our overlords within the studio. We've got an amazing mixing desk that's been donated to us, and I'm really looking forward to that. So if there was a technology that really encouraged people to go, fuck you, computer, then that would be a good thing, because I'm bored. 30 years of listening to stuff where the computer has been our overlord. Listen to this fucking metronome is our life. Watching the flickering bars of auto tune and snapping stuff to grids and all that kind of stuff. It's like the computer should be, and I don't want to sound like a fuddy-duddy. I've been using computers to make music since I was 11, but if there was something that I could introduce that would pull people away from it, then I would. There's a company called Alan and Heath, and my good friend Alan, who's behind the camera, is using this just amazing piece of kit, which is very hands-on, and it just isn't a computer. It records and it mixes and it records to all of this wonderful technology, SD, like photographic technology, and I think that's going to be really exciting. But I think you only have to look at all of these guitar pedal manufacturers, stuff like Alan and Heath coming out. That I do think that we are going to come out of the box eventually, and I do think it's a bit of a prison, to be honest.
Going back a couple of questions, Jim Sanker says, "Dot Addison Choir." That comes with the dots.
Yeah. I mean, Jim. Yeah, I've been wanting that we've been together for now, I think 15 years. So, but she's, just to let you know that Dot Addison is my wife. She's an insanely successful artist, and she is the company director of Crow Hill. I'm the mere secretary, and something that's really, really, really worrisome about music tech is the poor imbalance between men and women, and that's like the number one thing that Crow Hill is going to try and correct. Because I have 2 daughters, and for them not to think that this is a playroom for them is just obscene for me, because I love them to bits, and they're insanely creative, and that they wouldn't feel welcome in this room just is, I don't know, distressing for me. So that's something that Dot and I are going to try and do with the team and with the community with Crow Hill.
Linda Britton is like, yes for the ladies.
Yeah, it should always be yes for the ladies.
So we've got like 15 minutes left on the stream.
Okay.
So we do some more questions before we do the last big
Sure, absolutely.
Cool. So
I'm just, by the way, I'm totally David Cameron it at the moment. This has no effect other than making you want to urgently micturate. But I think I managed 15 minutes, and I've asked the team not to report if it is actually starting to get a bit dribbly down below. I am 51.
let's do some more ones about.
Okay.
Ambition, Raphael Sampao.
Raphael Sampao. Excuse me.
How about effects? You think you guys can do something new in that space?
So how about effects? Do we think we can do something new in that space? All I can say is, yeah. I mean, we did this. Did I tell the porn story already, Alan? Yeah. Well, anyway, we did this porn. We did this porn film, and no, we didn't do a porn film. We did a film about porn music, and Theo, who's sitting down there, is a fantastic guitarist. I just said, you need a really shit reverb, and we put a really shit reverb on, and both of us looked at each other and went, that's exactly how shit it should be. And so I like the idea of doing shit effects. Yeah.
And then her finner. What's the sound module responsible for the sound of horrible 90s porn? Is that like an
so that was
Herfiner.
Herfiner. What is the sound module that's responsible for the sound of terrible 1990s porn? Well, I used to write a lot of music for 1990s porn, and what made me really stick out is most people using a JV 1080. I was an Emu Proteus man, and that little wah-wah guitar thing was pure sex. I've just actually vomited into my mouth. Only Proteus. It was a Proteus 2000, was it? Oh, it was brilliant. It was Proteus 2000. And then it did really badly because everyone was really scared of Y2K, which was this thing where all the clocks were going to fuck everything up when it turned. Anyway, sorry, I'm waffling.
This is Murray Turner.
Murray Turner.
How does a hobbyist music maker get involved with Crow Hill? I often feel such a loss between students and people in the professional world in terms of opportunities to grow when you have a full-time job.
Yeah. So Murray is asking how to get involved in Crow Hill, and it is really, really tough to be noticed outside, your place, your place of composition when you have a job and a family and all that kind of stuff. And this is where I hope Crow Hill's going to make a really big difference, and that is to celebrate the work that you do. And that's like, it's like a mega part of what's a mega 1980s. It's a massive part of what we're going to do. And but it involves us hooking up with some third parties, and a lot of those conversations have happened. As I said, we're working with Edinburgh College in a kind of pilot program that is going to be fascinating, which is about monetizing sound. And if you're inventive and work hard, that's a possibility. But also, I'm going to California in the next couple of weeks to hopefully sign a major deal that will take advantage, or rather nurture, this community we're building. So all I can say is watch this space. We launched with a couple of ideas, and you'll see it expand. We just have to be careful. We have to just do it bit by bit. Get our ducks in a row, as they say.
Should we run the last one while we
Sure.
do a few more questions? So yeah, last competition.
Last competition prize is last giveaway. Being suddenly the police getting like Minority Report. I think something that Thea and I, who have been working closely together, like really quite intensely on this mega project, have realized is that Outboard is great, but the most important outboard is your pre's, your mic pre's. And the way I describe it, it's like buying an amazing 1970s Fender Telecaster and then sticking it into, I don't know, a Radio Shack amp. The signal needs to be amplified. And whilst it's not immediately obvious, the difference, you'll find that instruments, voices, that kind of stuff is so much easier to mix with a good mic pre. And I think the best entry level, or I say entry level, it's not, but I would say a mic pre that is a great investment because you use it for the rest of your life is a 1073 DPA Neve. And we've got one spare. So I thought that we donate it to the winner of this question, alongside loads of merch, but also a really bespoke piece of merch, which is this one. Sorry, chair. I'll let you figure that out for yourselves. And maybe some toffees, because we're English. But it's something that I would really encourage people is not to maybe splurge so much on synths and stuff. It's more concentrating on your signal. So good mic is only as good as its good mic pre. And we've got, there's some stuff here that depending on the application, depending on the mic, we will change mic pre's. But it's like backline. Okay. Of the class of instruments that I really dislike, and there's a clue in the video that happened earlier. Yeah. What am I? I have a really loud laugh, by the way. Brilliant. So,
I mean, absolute frenzy. It's just absolutely
Alan's a really fantastic saxophonist. I'm fine with the tenor, the baritone, and the bass, but the soprano and the alto can go fuck themselves. So, oh shit! Sorry, we're live.
So, for the 3 people that didn't guess the question you were about to ask, what was the question?
The question, basically, I've got this ongoing thing. Is I think that the I had such an invasive thought that I'm so glad I didn't share with the world. I think we should thank the Dutch for what's her name? Roman Holiday. Thank you. I think we should thank the Dutch for Audrey Hepburn, but not the saxophone.
And Francesco Carroll was like on it instantly.
So it's Francesco
Francesco
Coa. Congratulations. You should.
And let everyone who has one, let them know just to give. Stephen should be in touch with them.
Okay, so Stephen Tallamy, who is, just an incredible friend and person who has helped me set up lots of stuff. He's going to be in touch with you, and I think something would be just great to hear from you all is whether you'd like us to do this kind of thing again. As I said, it's not always going to be me; it'll be more people. I'd like to have a discussion here about AI and keep it light, but also I'm really looking forward to introducing you to 2 very amazing people who I think you're going to love to pieces. I think the first one of those introductions will happen probably on the, I don't know what the date is, but it's Black Friday. I think we're just going to kind of gather here and have a few beers and stuff. We're not fixed. If it doesn't happen, I'm sorry, but just save the date for a kind of similar time, 7 p.m. GMT here, Black Friday, where we'll have a few beers and I'll introduce you to someone who is, truly special.
Let's take the opportunity to say, like, people signing up for becoming a member or subscribing really helps us, and that's how.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, signing up. It's just the beating heart of Crow Hill is in fact the YouTube channel, and if you can tell your friends, ask them to sign up, we'd really appreciate that. But also, we had to get this show on the road, and we're kind of judging our cadence and stuff. But joining up to our membership or the murder or whatever you want to call it, I think will be really worthwhile. We're not going to spam you with loads of emails, and probably have maybe done a few too many this last couple of weeks. But we just wanted to communicate with you our passion and intent. And maybe, Alan, if you just switch to this. It's the Crow Hill. We're at the crowhillcompany.com. Membership is free. It immediately affords you access to the hub. There's going to be some other things we're adding to that, but also this thing called Vaults, which is going to be free forever. And there's going to be maybe some different membership tiers, but we will maintain that we're going to chuck something free out forever. And this is not my sketch. It was just me sketching whilst having a discussion with this brilliant team about, what this thing would be. And I think it's really interesting to watch how it developed into what we have today, which is this, but that it develops into other stuff. And I don't know about you, but I want them all. They're like sound Pokemon.
So we've got a couple of minutes left.
Okay, a couple of minutes left.
Do you want to squeeze in one more quick question?
Yeah, absolutely. Another question would be great. Yeah.
I think this is one last.
Colin John.
Again from Edinburgh College. What is the best advice to give an eager student to advance his skills and music?
What's my best advice to give an eager student to advance their skills in music? Colin Barber, sorry. I think I've I've met thousands of composers, and I may be repeating myself, but I've never met one and had a conversation longer than 10 minutes. You know how, like, when you fancy someone and within 10 minutes you'll know if they have a girlfriend or boyfriend, a man, or a wife or a husband. Well, it's the same with composers. Within 10 minutes, I guarantee they will mention another composer, someone who supported them and helped them. And I think that to be a true musician is to understand that it is this relay race that we're just getting better and better and better at. And so I think it's about meeting wonderful people, and you'll be really surprised at how approachable these people are. My good friend and genius co-collaborator Theo here is someone I met in a field behind here, and one of the reasons why I was so eager to have a pint with Theo and see if he wanted to work with me was it was so difficult to get people to approach me about being an assistant. And I think you just kind of have to be a bit brave. But the other thing I would really recommend is, there's no way of saying this is easy, but just being a good person. They say it's 50% lunch, and it's absolutely right. No matter what your skills are, if you're a bit of a plonker, it's not going to work out. But if you're eager and hardworking, conscientious, tenacity, and just jumping off a board, go like that. And there's never going to be a point where you approach someone like Hans Zimmer and they don't answer you, that you're going to bump into them in the future and they're going to, ha ha ha, you were the person I didn't answer. It doesn't work like that. But yeah, just reach out, because very few people do. So we're going to close this down. Let us know if this is something you enjoy. I mean, I'd really like to do this more often and just share this space, which is genuinely, I mean, this is a dream come true. My grandfather was obsessed with industrial design and would show us, how things were machined. He patched Spitfires during World War II. And so a lot of what informs me about how to approach things is down to him. He's like the best person who's ever lived in my mind. And when I look at the sun, which I wouldn't recommend kids, it does actually remind me of his face. And I think that that's something to do, is to embrace your own heritage, to embrace your own experiences and use them as tools to create something that is wholly your own. And I just can't wait to hear what you guys are doing and stuff and what we're going to do together. So I am waffling. I've got someone just going like that. Just go, yeah, I'll shut it, mate. But yes, my Londoner comes out. But thanks so much for joining today. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know how to sign. We didn't agree how to sign off on this, Pro. Good night. Good night. Thanks for joining, and just genuinely loads of love, and your support. Fucking mental. Thank you so much. Honestly.